Well, we have opened up the opportunity to enter into the raffle. So I know that we've had some entries already. Uh, so if you, at the very top, use that at Rotary Club Arcata Sunrise and search Venmo. You can send Nick $5 and he'll create an entry for you. So a little background, I mean, Venmo is a cash sharing app. It's free to send and receive money. You link your debit card or your bank account, and it's very straightforward. It's got the social component, so you can see who is sharing when and where, which you can turn on and off if you are not interested in participating in that. But it allows us to remotely share these funds, and then will come in handy down the road when we're looking at Final Friday. There is a charge if you link your credit card of 3%, so this would be a cash type of app. I would avoid looking at doing that. So, any questions out there about how Venmo works? So we have till 7:30 this morning to get those raffle tickets purchases in. So Nick, I don't know if you're getting those notifications. It'd be fun to show or share if those notifications are coming in, just to see what it looks like on the receiving end of. Let's see, I'm trying to look for you here.
Yeah. So far, I have Ed Christian. He did a test the other day, and so we're just going to enter him, and Daryl Johnson, which I'm assuming is Dick Johnson, maybe.
That's me.
I just got an email from Joyce. Is someone able to send her a link to the Zoom meeting, please? So a huge thank you to Nick. This is our homepage for our website, and considering we are moving to this modality of communicating, you can see at the bottom that we now have Zoom available through our website. So if you can't find the email and you want to join us, if you just go to arcadasunrise.org, you can go down to the calendar section and you can click, and this takes you directly to this Zoom meeting. So thank you, Nick, for setting that up. That should make access to this pretty convenient, and because we've scheduled it out through April, and we'll see how that goes, and possibly beyond, but conveniently there for your access. So a little fun. Looks like there's a lot of people on Zoom these days, and I don't know about you guys. I have to go to work, but this might be a Friday way to get your Friday started. So Lori sent this to me. Lori, I don't know if you have any background behind this fun game.
The game actually came from my daughter, who's going to Humboldt State and is doing all her classes via Zoom now, and this is what the college students think of it. Looks like fun to me. Maybe we should do a Friday night Zoom drinking game.
Friday evening, I could follow that. Way to get creative.
Make sure you don't confuse your what you're drinking for your hand sanitizer, though.
Thank you. Coming back. So I did announce in that email that I would like to start reaching out to some folks that we haven't seen for a while. So I didn't want to put this on one particular committee. I think a lot of us have different priorities that have shifted, and some have more time, some have less. So I don't know if you found the chat feature, but down below you can hit a chat button, which opens a box on the right. And if you are interested in helping me reach out to some of our Rotarians, if you could please either chat everyone or chat myself in that box, and let me know that you are interested. And I'll have a list of folks we haven't seen, and we can break that out and assign it and reach out to some folks that we haven't had a chance to connect with in a while. So I appreciate that. Looks like quite a few chats in there, so thank you. So Tomas, are you out there?
Yeah, we're out here. We're trying to make sure we got everything working here.
I'm going to turn the presentation over to you.
I think we're going to get it going here in a second. So. Okay, now we're off mute. Okay, can you guys hear us?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome.
Do you see our screen?
We
Okay,
do.
so, last week it was pretty sunny outside, so we decided to work outside. And Chris and Lisa have like a small place where they wanted to like do an alley, so I helped them just building the alley and like digging the soil and stuff. That was pretty fun, and it was like really sunny, and that was really fun. Also, so I don't know if you can see very well, but also with Chris, we played like Cornhole. So it's a pretty fun game. I have a small video. I don't know if, yeah, the quality is not that great, but you can see the different tries we had. But it was pretty fun. Otherwise, with the shelter in place, I had to do a lot of homeworks because like we have like classes online with like Google Classroom and stuff. So like it was had a lot of math to do, but well, so I spent like most of my week just like working my homeworks, and then I also called my friends back in France because like the situation is like pretty crazy there. So it was pretty interesting to see like how they were doing and stuff. So that was my week. Thank you.
Stop share.
So what does shelter in place look like in France right now? Are you keeping in touch with your friends?
Oh yeah, so actually they can't go outside, otherwise they get a fine. So like people really have to stay in their house. They cannot go outside. They cannot they can just like run maybe like something like a half miles away from the house, but they can't go further than that. And it's pretty like anything around your house, you literally need like an authorization to like go outside. So it's pretty crazy there. And like all the hospitals are like pretty full, so like they had like to move people around. The army's like putting some hospitals like just in the like different places. It's pretty rough.
I'm hearing the same thing down in Toulouse. I've been keeping in touch with another one of our exchange students, and they can't go farther than half a mile from their house, should be in their house the whole time, and the hospitals are extremely crowded.
Quite a different response in all these different countries. Thank you guys for sharing. Are you able to see my presentation still? Moving on to recognitions here. Is Brandi out there? Let's see. Brandi? Okay. I'll catch you next time. Oh,
Morning. She's here. Good
Hey, Brandi.
morning. Am I unmuted? I'm doing this from my cell phone. This is my second official Zoom meeting.
Yes, I can hear you. So are you able to see the video or see the presentation?
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm still learning how to navigate through this. So
You want to talk to us about the perilous plunge?
the virtual plunge. Um, yeah, so that was my birthday thing that I was going to do is jump into the bay, but then, you know, this COVID thing happened. And so the Discovery Museum decided to modify and create a virtual plunge so people can still participate. And there was some creative stuff. And we, the Sea Beasts, we decided to meet for possibly video, photo, whatever, and then I threw my back out. So that's why I'm not jumping, but I'm still plunging. so anyway, we got best costume, by the way.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
And,
for taking the photo, by the way, President.
Yeah. So Charlie, how's
Yeah,
it going? You had a show a couple Fridays ago.
yeah, it was awesome. It was the last party of the season, I think.
Yeah. How'd things go? Saw a lot of
Uh,
Rotarians there.
There were a lot of Rotarians there. I don't know. I think Greg had a lot of pictures. But yeah, we had a really good time at the Griffin still, and some people were practicing social distancing, and so it was a strange vibe, but it was still everybody was really happy just to be out and see faces, and it was really nice. It was a lot of people and a lot of love.
Nice. And then soon after you became auntie.
Yep, that's my niece Allie, and my great nephew Marzo. And yeah, she had a home birth, which was really awesome. So it was me and grandma from both sides, and we got to watch her birth, and it was pretty cool. It was great.
Nice. Thank you.
Hmm.
Wanted to offer Lisa, Romy, and Dick a huge shout out. So here's a little bit of the Facebook campaign to help promote our vendors who are who've supported us over the years at our Taste of the Holidays and now Taste of Spring fundraisers. And as a way that we want to say thank you and give back is to highlight their business and share how you can still access their wares. So if you search for them on Facebook, you can see that our club has posted some information about them. Share that with as many people as you can so we can get that word out there and let the community know that they're still in business and still offering like curbside service and delivery in some cases. So let's hit the social media and get that out there. And then just yesterday.
Wait, AJ, can I say something?
Yes.
So yeah, that looks great, Dick. I don't do Facebook, but I had started the Taste of the Holidays Instagram account last year, and it's got quite a few followers. And so Lisa asked me if I would get that updated as well. And I'm happy to do that. If you could send me screenshots or just take pictures of your posts and I can just replicate those. And then also I'm wondering who runs the main Sunrise Instagram account. It hasn't been updated since November. And when I tried to work on it at Taste of the Holidays, couldn't seem to track down who was the administrator. So I was wondering if that got figured out.
It used to be me, but I'm not sure who took it over from me. I may still be on there of record.
Would you be willing to try to log in and at least get the login information, and then we can
Sure.
kind of go from there? Awesome.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
Yep.
I believe Claire was taking over responsibility, but I don't know if she's had time to get all the various media.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
Claire.
Oh, okay.
Claire was replacing Scott.
Scott, I believe you did share the login information for all of our online presence. So I may have that in my email, Patty, and I can, Scott, if you can, I could track that down and share it.
Yeah, I think I just sent it to you recently, and I can send it again. It's in my old email as well from what I did for Claire.
Okay, great. Oh, I see your note, Claire. So I just was hoping to maybe like cross promote a little bit with the main Instagram page. So maybe we can talk offline about that.
That'd be great.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.
There you go.
And
Looks like Claire's on it.
Can I make a comment?
yes.
Oh, there I am. Okay. So I only got like 5 or 6 people, 6 vendors that responded to the email that went out, the letter that went out on Sunday. So I'm going to go ahead and send it out again today and hopefully get some more. But we can always add other vendors in, other ones that are local that maybe have supported us for our spring fundraiser, like the people that have donated, different things. We could also add those in too, just to see get it out to the public, what they're doing as far as either shutting down or offering something, So anyway, that's going to go out again today.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa. And Romy, do you want to talk a little bit about your hashtag here?
I just thought it would be fun to start something positive, and I heard in Italy and Spain, the community comes out and thanks the healthcare workers. They've got a time that they come out on their balconies or in their front yards and they all clap, and I thought that is so beautiful. So I am so not a hashtag person. I don't even know why I thought this, but anyway, I just thought let's get something virtually going, and we could all post this, create your own. We could post it. We could challenge other clubs to post it if challenge other districts. If we get all our clubs to do it, it just seemed like it would be a really sweet thing to get going. I don't know how something turns viral, but it's a message I sure would like the healthcare workers to hear. And a few people in my family are healthcare workers, and I'm just worried sick about them. And so I just wanted to get that message out, and I thought we could collectively do it.
Great idea.
I would love to see perhaps our next meeting, we could come up with our own hashtag sign, and it would be fun screenshot to take with our monster grid of all of us on the screen with our own hashtag that we could share on our website and get that word out and get that going viral. So I'd love to see some creative folks out there and get their hashtag sign, and we'll get that prepared for our next meeting, and I'll send a reminder out in that next email.
I was trying to get 4 Rotarians together because we could do Rotary and then thanks, healthcare, heroes. We'd all be social distancing, but take a picture.
Nice,
or spell it out of Rotary wheels, or I don't know, let the creative thoughts get going. Yeah,
I love it. So something for next meeting, we'll make that happen. So please continue to send recognitions. I'd love to see some creative ways folks are social distancing. I thought I'd introduce a game this round. I think through social media, it was, or Amy had shared, like if you have a kid or a pet at home that you kind of tell a story, but call them your coworker. Maybe I'll add that to the chat next time to see if we can get some funny chats going. But please, if you have things happening in your life, please send it to arcs.recognitions@gmail. So moving on to COVID. So this is the objective here is for us to flatten the curve. And I think yesterday I saw a stat that things aren't going in the right direction. So I thought it'd be interesting to get a perspective from someone in the medical field. So I invited Rebecca, Howard's wife, to perhaps share some of her thoughts on like it's COVID in our community. She has a Facebook page as well that talks about stuff happening in the community. Howard, is Rebecca available?
Yes, she's in the other room. I'll get her in just a moment.
Okay. So I don't know if there's questions that you guys have about the virus and how it's affecting our community. I know that we're up to, I think the number is 12, but we're doing this for a reason. I have a sister who's susceptible to, or she's a cancer patient, so she's very active on social media, trying to get the consciousness out there so that we do our best to ensure we're mindful of keeping this flattening this curve, keeping the trajectory down. So hi, Rebecca.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
I definitely wanted to keep this simple, straightforward. I don't know if there's anything immediate that you'd like to share about what you know about the virus in our community.
I think it's probably best if I just answer questions because there's really so much and I'd rather just go where your interests are.
Sure. So I'll start with I guess, how is this virus so much more menacing than some of the other viruses that are out there?
Well, it's brand new, and so there's absolutely no human immunity against it. And so that's very scary. Everybody on the planet is susceptible to it, and we haven't lived with this virus, so we don't know how it's going to behave. So we're learning on the fly. We don't know if it's going to go down in the summer or just stay constant. So it's the great unknown. And there's enough concerning information out there from the experience of other countries that we just have to be as cautious as we can in response.
So I know that social distancing has been the strategy, and for some of us, I work in an essential business or service that I do have to continue to go to work and interact with the public. So it almost feels defeating to, just be out there. But like, what are some things that we can do to be mindful and protect ourselves from the virus?
Yeah, that's really interesting, AJ. Are you trying to observe the 6 feet rule?
I am, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's really important. I think minimize contact wherever possible. If somebody doesn't have to come to the bank, do things online. The more you are not in contact with people, the better we're all going to be, because unfortunately we know that people will be shedding virus 2 days before they get symptoms, and some people will never get symptoms, and so they'll be shedding virus for days.
Right.
So the only thing you can really do is not be in contact with anybody who's shedding virus, and also remembering when they're doing that, they're leaving it in your bank on your counters, everything they touch. So I like to imagine when I go out, I sort of run a picture in my mind. Where am I touching? Who's touched it before me? Am I touching my face? And it's actually, you're bringing up the question of the day, I think, is should we be wearing masks out there in public? And the CDC guidelines are only people who are sick, if you're not a healthcare worker, only people who are sick should be wearing masks because it prevents, a cough or a sneeze. But my thinking is people like you, people working in grocery stores are exposed to people all day long. And if we, the public, who has to go for our limited amount of time into public places, if we were to wear a cotton mask, not a medical mask, because they should be reserved for healthcare workers. I've just sewn a few of these myself and thinking I'm going to start wearing it in consideration of the people who are working out there and are exposed to others all day long. At least it's going to limit a little bit the shedding if I should be in the prodromal phase of an illness. At least some of the droplets are going to be caught by that mask. So that's my thinking right now. And I think we might start. The other thing, I'm influenced by Asia, Hong Kong, South Korea, China. They wear masks in public. Absolutely. In fact, they in China, they get fined if they don't. And they've handled it, all of them, much better than we have and are going to manage. So I'm kind of putting my eggs in their basket right now.
Thank you, Rebecca. Does anybody else have a comment? Joyce, looks like you have an update with the courts. Or a question for Rebecca?
I just had to get off mute.
There we go.
So I don't have a question. So if other people have questions for Rebecca, I don't want to cut into her time. I just wanted to say what the courts are doing because obviously we have a lot of people come into the court or would have, and what we've done, it's also an essential function, but I can talk about it once we're done with Rebecca.
Does anybody ever else have a question for Rebecca? No. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for sharing. I know that it's a topic that's top of mind that, is ever changing since it's so new, unprecedented. Appreciate your background and your expertise there.
Thanks very much, AJ. Stay well, everyone.
And I'll share your Facebook page with the club. So
okay. Thank you.
You bet. All right, Joyce.
So on the 16th, we were trying to scale down to comply with the governor's orders of less than 50 people at space and social distancing, and was really having a lot of issues, obviously trying to scale down what we were doing. We only are calling criminal matters and juvenile matters at this point as the most essential due process functions, and we've rescheduled. So then the 16th, we decided to get an emergency order from the Chief Justice to close our courts for 4 days, which then would be considered holidays for any calculation of statute of limitations stuff. We did that to rescale what we were doing. And so, and also then once the president said, keeping less than 10 in a room with social distancing, the sheriff's office or the sheriff who has the authority to do so closed the county building itself where our courthouse is. So that obviously also justice has to do with public access and being able to see what's going on. So we took that time to scale what we were doing. The jail also didn't want to transport inmates, even the distance from the jail to the courtroom. touching a number of surfaces. So there was a decision made not to transport inmates from the jail to the courtroom. Also, there's been orders in place that essentially any non-violent, non-serious people who are not pending court cases, unless there's other factors, have been released, so that there's reducing the numbers of people in the jail. And so then we opened again on Friday to be able to hear people's being arraigned, who'd been arrested and arraigned, because they have a right to access to a judge, and then also or bail hearings. We are streaming. So we had planned on closing the courtrooms, but the courthouse entirely was closed. We are streaming live what's taking place in court. I've made an order based on the fact that there's a pandemic, that is the best we can do with for public access, though allowing that to occur. Also then through Zoom, having having as much take place remotely. The judges are still sitting in the courtroom. There's still a courtroom clerk. There's still a court reporter. Everybody's practicing social distancing. And I call my juvenile calendar completely on remote, though I still have my court reporter and a clerk in the courtroom. We've scaled down our staff so that we have no less than 10 people at a time working any location, allowing for social distancing. And we're looking at what we can also start doing to provide access to justice for all those other things. We're still hearing restraining orders, so domestic violence restraining orders and civil harassments on an emergency basis. All other processes are being heard on an emergency basis. We are, my understanding is that there's, I need to double check, that the sheriffs are not processing eviction notices. We remain open to process any unlawful detainer actions so that those things occur. So we scale down to criminal and juvenile mostly, and then emergency things, and we're seeing how we might be able to scale up remotely. There's a lot of bars to do some of the stuff that we're doing, frankly, from what the laws are currently in place. And I've made the decision as the presiding judge that we have a duty to community health. And so jury trials are suspended for 60 days on order of the Chief Justice. There's just a lot of moving pieces. We tried, I guess the short answer would be, if you care, I maybe take too much time. If you care about specifics, we're trying to keep things updated on our website, and we'll be trying to reach out to the public in a number of different ways for those that have questions about what happened to their cases as soon as we can build the capacity. Because the weird thing is that we're trying to do more with less, and so it's just been a lot of effort. So anyway, that's what's up. If anybody has any questions, they can reach out to me individually, and I'll be happy to answer. I don't necessarily want to take any more time unless anybody finds that interesting.
Thank you, Joyce.
So what you're saying, Joyce, is I still need to show up for my arraignment. Is that correct? This is Greg.
No, all out of custody, time waived matters and arraignments have been continued, and that they will be re-noticed at a future time, and that future time keeps being a moving target. So, but that's the main thing. The main message is no one should physically come to the courthouse unless it's an emergent matter. If it's emergent, still don't come to the courthouse. Try to reach in other ways. Our filing box is open. So if you have something to file or have a specific question, you could actually leave it in the drop box and someone would get back to you. We're trying to figure out how we can be available. There's some capacity with our new case management program to have a public portal, but that was going to be in place in about six months, and we're seeing if we can advance that, but there's a lot of moving pieces to keep in place. So we are trying to figure out how to make the best access to everything, but we've had to sort of just focus on the folks in custody and those folks with no time waivers first, and then build out capacity from there.
Wonderful. And I just want to add that not just the courts, but the County Board of Supervisors and some of the other public agencies are now able to take public comment and have public participation from a remote location or even email. So the board met yesterday and was able to take public comment that way. The governor has suspended some of the Brown Act requirements, which require basically face-to-face communication. So if you want to participate in or at least watch, a lot of those meetings now are being broadcast via Zoom or other places.
Do you have that meeting information, Greg? I could forward to the group if they want to look at that.
Well, so the board of supervisors met yesterday, and if you go to the HumboldtGov.org website, it's a little hard to navigate, unfortunately, but you can wend your way through to the board of supervisors page, and they're putting information there on which they've been doing all along on when they meet. And so yesterday they had a meeting, and they got updates from public health essentially, and those are also broadcast on Access Humboldt, which you can go to their website or just catch them if you have cable television. You can catch them on the public access channel.
Thank you. I'm going to move along here. Humboldt Area Foundation did set up a regional response fund. So for those nonprofits out there, if you need some support, there's some funds for nonprofits, charitable organizations, and public agencies to help meet the immediate needs of our local community. Something you can access through Humboldt Area Foundation, or you can give to it as well. Inga, wanted to give you a couple minutes to update us with how Backpacks for Kids are going.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to thank everybody for their support when we're doing this during normal times. It's really an important service that we have for our community, and I really appreciate that. Right now we've transitioned to really limiting the number of people that are in contact with the food and then distributing the bags. Normally they're already packed for us thanks to you guys, and then I distribute them to the kids at school, but since they're not there, they've had to actually physically get to their homes. So I picked up the food last week and did the bagging myself so that we could limit the number of hands on it. And then some of the teachers at school actually took groups of bags out to people's homes and left them on doorsteps, and then waved from afar so that they made sure that they got their food. And then this week we've kind of streamlined the process so that there are even fewer people out and about. As the local cases are increasing, we're just feeling like we need to get it back down to as few people as possible. So now there are, the school district is running the breakfast and lunch program out to some remote locations. Neighborhoods where there are higher concentrations of kids that are experiencing some issues with food insecurity. And so those bags are going on the van or the bus with the lunches anyways. So when the kids come pick up their lunches, as they do Monday through Friday, then they get their bag, or their families are coming out and getting them. And then that left just about 10 more that needed to go to individual sites. So people, there's one person that's doing that delivery today. So that's kind of how it's going. This is our first day-to-day of that system, and I think that's what we're going to continue for the next few weeks, or as long as we need to.
It was something that we were so ingrained or so used to being a part of in our regular meetings. And I know there's a lot of members out there that sorely miss being able to be part of that. Do we have any club members have questions for Inga?
It's excuse me, it's Lori. How are the teachers doing? Are they doing distance learning, doing packets? What's going on with the schools?
Well, it's pretty diverse depending on what school district you're talking to. At the Arcata School District, we're the middle school is trying to do as best they can. They're trying to do Google Classroom for basically the entire school. About 125 families came and borrowed Chromebooks. The kids are normally on a one-to-one device, so kind of streamline that process. They were able to come and borrow the device that they usually use at school that lives at school. Now they took it home. Our tech person is helping people with getting free Wi-Fi if they don't have it already at home. So that's been a huge project over the last week, getting kids hooked up to the Google Classroom platform. And they're pretty familiar with that at school. So it's just the transition to using it at home. And then the elementary school is more packet-based, just developmentally. They're not ready necessarily for being online all day. And I don't think that the middle school is online all day. They get their assignments and then they can communicate with their teacher that way. So that's kind of what it's looking like for Arcata, but I know it's varying a lot district to district.
Jay, if I may take a few seconds. Throughout the state, it varies from district to district. It took the California Teacher Commission a couple of weeks to come up with guidelines and everything in regards to what should be and what shouldn't be. And they've encouraged each district to develop online instruction through various kinds of formats that are available. And student teachers, for the most part, are continuing working with their mentor teachers and teaching, but teaching in an online format. There are districts that are using their buses to drop off at bus stops packets and pick up finished packets and things like that. So for the most part, education is continuing, but it's all on an online format. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Inga.